Ramanswari, Minister of Information and Communication, carry on say dem go make sure say the process wey dem get for use for reform Salcab involve all the right body dem so that any decision wey dem take go dey in the interest of the people. Muni Nijalo, na the acting director of communication at the Ministry of Information, and inside im presentation on the proposed reforms on fiber optic communication na Salon, e tok about the thing dem wey the country need for benefit from advanced digitalization.
Things that we need to have in place in order to actually benefit from this digital technology that he was talking about. You have the first mile, which is the submarine cable, and then you have the middle mile, which is the terrestrial backbone. You'll have the last mile, which is where the MNOs, the private sector, has to take services to our doorstep. So we go to the government fiber optic investment that the minister was talking about. We miss out some other opportunities that Ghana and others benefited on, which was the SAT-3, which landed fiber in countries like Ghana. So when the government saw the opportunity of another cable that was coming from France through South Africa, Portugal, Ivory Coast, Liberia, onto Sierra Leone, the government wasted no time but to latch onto that opportunity.
The acting director of communication at the Ministry of Information and Communication, Muni Nijalo, and say the reform of Salon Cable Limited, Salcab, timely and important as way for achieve digital inclusiveness of all Salon people. For the Society for Radio Democracy, me, that's Saptiyo Kalon.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue, and as we tell you now the program today, we want for know waiting exactly the Ministry of Information and Communication the plan for doing a Salcab after we plenty talked on the ground, but different thing and way people think say they get for can do. Na Salcab we one pan them, some people say they can privatize Salcab, some man say they can sell Salcab, and other one then gets and views them on this particular issue. We make we get Mohamed Jalon at the program this morning, acting director of communication na the Ministry of Information and Communication for cancel we exactly how the ministry reach here and waiting the one for do na Salcab, where the Salon Cable Limited been set up by an act of parliament inside 2012 with support from World Bank, where them be ones for let them land and manage the fiber optic submarine cable we currently in a Salon, and currently Salcab they provide internet for all government ministry departments and agencies them and serve other internet service provider them. The one the way they do mobile phone operation at the country and other people who don't get internet service connected to the fiber optic cable where Salcab they manage. But this being some information way be the group begin go round now that the Ministry of Information and Communication one for do something at Salcab where plenty people not able to understand it why the Ministry of Information one for do waiting in the plan for do, although Salcab they under them purview where then a supervisory ministry for Salcab and other government institutions them. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mr. Jallo.
Good morning.
Well, as I don't tell listeners, the media this morning for cancel we the big word we hear from the ministry, so now one for unbundle the Sierra Leone Cable Limited, Salcab, where they under una as government institution, una supervisory ministry for Salcab and other institutions them. Let we first start for no. Waiting have been the arrangements because we know with support from World Bank governments been set up Salcab in 2012. How we reach for can get a decision for let we go say on a one for unbundle. But let we start for no first waiting at the unbundle.
Okay, so first of all, in simple terms, what would you try for tell people then that government get this business, two different business and they together, you run them. But you reach a point and say, you know what, the two businesses are able to run there separately and still reach me objective where I want for set. In fact, even originally when I be put the business there together, I not be actually intend for run there as one business. So if I don't see say they go the way we're supposed to go, I can actually separate them and they're okay able to function independently and still achieve the goal where government want for achieve. That is for increase on the access to services by the people and reduce the cost of access for them. So in simple terms, what it mean would they separate the business. The business with Salcab, they do now two different aspects they together. So they try for separator now, let two different bodies they manage their business and they. But make I just explain how really Salcab come together. First of all, Salcab, the time where government see the opportunity for land the submarine cable, people then can remember say time being at this country when we want for make call, pass we go na slet. By then, Sarah tell them they call a slet. You go to line day. That will be satellite. Now by satellite will be the door. And it be very expensive. So around 2010, government see the opportunity, say some companies, they want land fiber on the west coast of Africa. So where they call the Africa Coast to Africa Coast to Europe Consortium, ACE. So government approach World Bank and say, you know what, I've been missed out on the other opportunities there because we've been there for more than 10 and day. But now that we get peace, support we let we self land fiber, so we'll move from satellite communication to fiber submarine, way cheaper and more robust. So World Bank give government $30 million as a loan. But it been give conditions there. One of the conditions was we forget a representative per the consortium. So government been set up Salcab as a special purpose vehicle, a register as a company. So not an act of parliament create Salcab. We've been registered as a company for let it represent Sierra Leone the consortium, we been the land, the cable. The countries that will be participating as Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, Gambia, Ivory Coast, and some other countries there, South Africa and other places there. So the cable be they come out from France through South Africa, Portugal, take Ivory Coast, take it can reach to we. So the whole reason why they be set up Salcab, actually the original intention was represent we now the ACE consortium, make sure say we get the right equipment, the right capacity, and land the fiber cable for we, and also manage that station there. So the whole intention was land the cable, manage it so that people then go able to get services there.
So, yes. So when we look at the unbundling, you talk about two submarine cable and also local transmission. Before we look at that, somebody where they listen now, they get Salcab. How important Salcab they into the communication system na Salone when it comes to internet and the call system?
Salcab, we refer to Salcab as an essential facility. Salcab just sound like Bumbuna. If you see Bumbuna go down, they say we don't blackout don't can Salone. So if you see Salcab go down, communication blackout they did in Sierra Leone. We're not able to get internet, particularly. So until voice, the MNOs then they manage for provide some minimal service in terms of voice. But internet, if you see Salcab go down, the whole salon they lost internet connection. So now make the original way World Bank with the give that support. They tell we say, look, this place now such an important place. So wait till we go and let it happen as part of the loan agreement. Let we run this place with a PPP mentality. That is a public-private partnership. So that you go sell shares. You government take some shares for your own use, but the rest of the shares give them to private people there. Let them manage them so that because they know say important, they go manage them well and wait till una achieve, una go achieve. And World Bank we also advise say not run Salcab like for make profit. That means you don't go achieve or bring down costs. Run out in such a way that one, you're able to pay the loan, but you're able to bring down the cost of access to services. So therefore, Salcab originally, now before let we run out as a PPP. That will be the loan condition in fact. People that go remember say, well, they implement the project. The project actually started 2010. But about 2014, we renege on that condition day. The MNOs at that time, the mobile operators at that time, they already apply for shares into the company. But go on, some default they happen. Government say, you know what, I'm not even interested for give out shares again. Me, they take over this place now and run them by myself. So they appoint a new managing director. So they take over the MNOs and pull it out of the business. So waiting happen. World Bank not be happy. People then go remember say they be suspend Sierra for that one. The World Bank suspend we. By then we get the World Bank country manager when I be Atu Brown. It was a big tussle between the government and Atu Brown. We spend endless time for meets and try for justify. World Bank not be accept the justification. Say no, we don't renege on the condition. We'll give una the loan. The loan was land the cable, Salcab manager, and bring the private sector let una manager Salcab. So Salcab actually for don't be a private sector managed institution, but will not be do that one day. So World Bank be suspend we. In fact, the project completion be very challenging. Will not be able to do some component of the project again because they withdraw the money, they stop for pay the salary of the staff there. So go on. Government gets support. How the other business they come into the Salcab. Now I want to explain quickly. Go on. ECOWAS also meet now Abuja. The ECOWAS heads of state also meet. Look, fiber is very important. The whole purpose of ECOWAS now for law integrate and communication will be integrate. So let's see how they interconnect with cities there. So they create a project they call the ECO1, the ECOWAS Wide Area Network. So Sierra Leone be part of that meeting. They will sign up to the protocol and we look for partner for support with. So Islamic Development Bank gives Sierra Leone $28 million for also do the inland fiber cable. That is not to submarine. Now the submarine World Bank don't support her. That now the one we under the sea where come on Europe can. World Bank don't support her. But if you did it, you don't get another cable now the land where they take the goods there. The way the goods and can at the port then go clog. They go there so nobody know there for transport and quick. So then support we for let will take the fiber from the landing station to the two borders then, because the whole ECOWAS project was connect you borders there so that the other country then you connect with you. So we take the fiber through Putloko, Cambia, and Balamuya, then through Bo, Kenema, Poturu, other places. They take on at the Liberia border and Azimi. So we terminate and they. But that was still not enough. The other district they not being get. So Chinese government again support we for let we do another fiber cable they call the national fiber backbone when China Exim Bank support with a $15 million. Then they now been run from Putloko, Rubere, Lonsha, Makeni, Masingbi, Ego Sefadu, Koedu. So that was the first investment we government do in terms of fiber. But the intention was the ECO1 and the Chinese they use support, it be for be a separate business, a separate transmission business for the on-land transmission, so that the undersea transmission, Salcab will manage that, but government for create another body for manage this on the land transmission. But in about 2014, 2015, the government then say, no, you know what, I don't even want for management here separately. We'll not even go through any protocol, we blend the two business together. So like I said, the other partners, they'll not be happy. At that time, the World Bank of us suspend we, Islamic Development Bank, and go slow on we. Of course, Chinese normally know they give conditions on their loans, but the other one they can give conditions. So Islamic Development Bank, we don't even develop a business plan for manage the ECO1 infrastructure. We not do that one, they then bring her together. Fast forward, now so Salcab don't they manage. So Salcab take over a business where not been planned for, and actually it not been planned for, like manage this aspect, but government say no, you know what, you take over everything now. So that was how Salcab don't they manage. And this is what they talk about, not to foresee this new administration. It happened way in 2014. By then, then bring the two business together. So I be just want to let people understand how then two business they are come together. One now on the sea transmission, the other one now on the land transmission. The what they call the local transmission of communication services.
So waiting exactly on don't fair not at this time we make on one for separate them. Is it that Salcab not get the capacity or not able for do the management of both?
Okay, so before they arrive at then decision they are. When the new administration take over, it's setting steps on benchmark there or some things that we want for do, especially in the first 5 years. So we get what they call the National Development Plan where they put together. Whenever they put that plan together, in cluster 3, when infrastructure and competitiveness, they realize they look, ICT will be a very good enabler for achieve overall national development, economic development. So there is a whole cluster 3.5, where it talks say improve information and communication technology in such a way that we're able to achieve overall national development and competitiveness. Going forward also, we are a member of the African Union. African Union also called the heads of state together and say, you know what, we need to transform the countries so that Africa say go digital. Then develop what they call the Africa Digital Transformation Strategy. So all the documents they say let reform. We now decide for look into how we institution then they run for law achieve then goals and they will then document they don't set for we. When we look into we realize the pace at which would they go, the rate at which would they run the institution. There, if we go with that pace, the 2023 target that we don't set, we're not going to achieve. So when we look at that, we look at the statistics, we look at the penetration rate, we look at how they drive down costs, we realize at this rate, if we not introduce commensurate reform, now then side and it will be difficult. And the reform not to only Salcab. We look at all the sectors the way they drive digital technology, even NATCOM. As I talk so, we now they work with NATCOM. In fact, tomorrow we they both with NATCOM and other stakeholders there for also validate their own reform document.
So the Salcab they look at this morning, na capacity not been day we make on us one for separate.
Well, when we don't look at how they don't manage Salcab over the years, and this is not about the current management, make I emphasize this. We are actually assessing Salcab from the inception. We say from where they don't incept Salcab, the way the management don't run Salcab, not they able to drive the objective with government set.
Include this current management.
Include this current management.
They're not able for
the way the place they run, we're not able to meet the set up objective. And Their objective is in one, it in financial terms, it in performance terms, and it in also fiscal terms. Now look at the performance terms. Salcab will be set up for law of drive down, they'll drive up penetration, let people able get access to internet, and the emphasis here now on internet, because voice we relatively okay on voice, but internet and the other one they really do badly on now the sub region. We are the least connected in Sierra Leone, and the world now, if you not connect, if you are not connected now, it's really very difficult for you people therefore enjoy services. Even the banks, then they go now online. Bank, they talk about banking online, other services, and they talk about services online. So if you're not connected, if you don't make people that get access to internet, it means even if there's service and they go online, we're not going able. And now the world they talk about a digital economy, and an economy that is run on a digital platform. So therefore, when we look at how we they go in terms of connectivity for drive up penetration, we realize we're not going able to meet that target we don't set we self. And we look at the financial performance. Salcab, this loan where government they take, government are guarantor no more. In they go take the loan on behalf of the parastatals there. But the parastatals now they for run the business, they pay the loan. But we don't realize is since there's form Salcab, Salcab is supposed for the pay like $1 million to the Ministry of Finance for service the loan them. But over the years, we realize when we look at the books, the maximum way Salcab don't ever put na the place na 360,000.
But na try for know wetin na the problem,
At the
because
can they, we don't look into all that one day.
all of this, then you look at the problem. Maybe other school of thought go tell you say why una not here for address issues where they make Salcab not able for raise the money where, for example, government they expect them for raise.
Okay, at the arrive there, now make I don't categorize the areas there. So when we look at also the money side, you supposed for give $1 million for service the loan. But we realize over the years, the maximum we don't actually able to be giving now $360,000. That's too bad. So meaning you they tell we say past government go look for money again, can't pay that loan there on your behalf. So, but the projections that what we make, what will be they put the business thought together for the business. Now like between $1 million to $1.8 million now government for don't they receive. So that you pay the 1 million on the loan, then the $800,000 you can able to put into services like where government don't bring the free quality education. Those are monies where you can use for supporter or other social services, or even put her for a rainy day. The day where Salcab will get emergency, you can plug her back into Salcab.
So look at the mechanism before you go to the other issue. How Salcab they raise money for meeting demand here?
Okay, Salcab they basically raise money by selling bulk service to the MNOs. The MNOs then they buy what we call the bandwidth, the capacity from Salcab for let them able sell to me and you. So that's how they do business. But this business here, let's put her in a playtime, let people they understand. Me and I rest at the sell. I get big wire house at the sell rest. This rest here, the ship don't counter for me by bags. It flop me wire house, bam. But me now we don't clean. What me they do? I they go pull one bag, I put her, I open her. I put cup they sell her one by cup. We post the buy 2 cup. That business not go grow. Because I get so much pack na me wire house. But at the seller with 20 self. So Salcab get a capacity to about 80, above 80 gig capacity now you get. But so far, the way that they say, even the MNO, they know they talk, say, the way that they sell this thing to we, they make not able to do fast turnover. Because they sell it to we by how much you buy, I give you. In such a way that now only 15 gig now don't use. So that's like you are using less than 30% of your 100% capacity is done for you. So that kind of way you will not able to get better money, because the way they do the business, you're not able to make better money.
You talk about connectivity. We say less than 1 million people connected to internet among the 7 million population. You don't think that they could be a very challenge for raise fund from internet facilities them from the people?
Well, the whole purpose where they be formed Salcab, where government be invest in the fiber optic infrastructure, now before let more people then get access. So if you're not able to make more people then get access, then even we go begin to ask now, are you running the business properly? Because you are purposely put together for let you make more people there. So by now, if we talk about 3 to 4 million people getting access to internet.
All right, continue for the between at the studio, Mohamed Jallo, Acting Director of Communication and the Ministry of Information and Communication. We they come back to you, we they look at other issue at the program. Good morning, Salon.
And we go na the Miltimagai College of Education, we say for long term now, Miltimagai College of Education and Technology, don't they work for make government turn them to university, and after the college the college administration been done rights to Tertiary Education Commission for make them turn them to university. Tech be done pull then report, and according to the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, Gabriel Cooper, say the ministry don't agree for the recommendation them with the Tertiary Education Commission. The report say Miltimagai College of Education for turn to university. For more on this, we join Alex Lawrence Kurma.
Miltimagai College of Education and Technology, now one part the Polytech institution them, we don't they ask for make them turn them to university because them believe say they don't get the facility and standards for serve as university in the country. This process, where MMC don't depart for long term now, don't they reach now some stage, outside the college administration, don't they get hope. But this being term, workman
in our conditions of service, 20%. But for the magnanimity of your ministry, Mr. Pierce, the magnanimity of our minister, when you got the information from me, particularly that they did not pay all the actual amount, you call your minister, and the two ministers met immediately and they went into action. We want this thank you to go to His Excellency the President, Brigadier Julius Madabio, for keeping into his promise he made during the state opening. He said the issue of strike action will put it behind us. Mr. Permanent Secretary, since you people came to power, up to this moment, we receive our salaries. If we delay, it will not go beyond the 10th of the other month. We receive our salaries on time.
Dr. Philip Kanu say, we it take over the college administration. If it gets 3 objectives, and by the 3 objectives they say, they're not able to achieve 2, but say the one way left. Now for make the college turn to university.
Objective number 1, facelift. And I'm sure the Permanent Secretary today will attest to it that that objective will accomplish that. Objective number 2, the quality assurance. Permanent Secretary, this is the only institution that can boast of publishing the results after the closure of the first semester. We completed our exams and we published our results. The quality assurance, we have a lot of mechanism of monitoring our staff. 99.9% of the staff seated here, they have submitted their lecture notes. The third objective for this college to be a technical university.
Dr. Kanu continues say, after they don't apply for university status at the Tertiary Education Commission, the commission will pull reports, and this is some part of the recommendation them.
The recommendation there states that Miltimagai has the basic requirements to be transformed to a technical university. As such, they are recommending for us to be a technical university. We applied for 3 faculties and they approved all the 3 faculties. It will be good for you to know. We applied for the name to be Miltimagai University of Education and Technology. They recommended that name too. All the 3 faculties, they applied for education, technology, and hospitality. These are the 3 faculties. That's the recommendation they put to the ministry.
Where it talk for address the issue of condition of service. The permanent secretary at the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, Gabriel Cooper, say the Ministry of Finance don't agree for look inside condition of service for all tertiary institutions them inside October this year.
Why October? Because that's the time we normally have the project circular board, wherein we plan for the ministry, for the different institutions under auspices of the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education. The Ministry of Finance was present in that particular meeting. We discussed the conditions of service extensively, and the takeaway we had from that particular meeting are as follows. 1, for those institutions that were not on strike at that material point in time, we encourage the heads of those institutions to continue the good work they were doing. For those institutions that were on strike, we appeal to the heads of those institutions to again come and appeal to the staff to resume work. But then we had a commitment, and the commitment was that we ensure that the August salary were paid with a much celebrated leave allowance. That was the commitment we had. And truth of all, we actually ensured that the August salary, I'm pretty sure the leave allowance, as I heard from the principal.
Gabriel Cooper been assured the college administration say, then na the ministry don't agree for the recommendation them with TCG for make MMCT turn university.
And I want to make it abundantly clear that the chief technical and high extension officer, Contin of Dr. Osbriman, was quite emphatic and advised the minister that as a ministry, we must accept the recommendation of the Tertiary Education Commission. In another development, we are summoned by the oversight committee on technical and higher education. I will not bother you with the details of what transpired in that particular meeting, but 99.9% of the committee members emphatically stated that Milton Magai must be transformed into a university. In the leadership meeting, I mean the minister, the deputy minister, the chief technical and high education officer, and my humble self, we met and the decision that we accept all the education commission. We are going to constitute a committee of stakeholders to work out the implementation plan.
Mr. Cooper be encouraged the workman them at the college for work with the college administration for push the college go before as he say government's ready for improve the condition of service and make all the workman in life better na the college. For the Society for Radio Democracy, as Lawrence Koroma, the report.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able Salon link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to post order shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go na Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Sierra Leone Commercial Bank. The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and we still get Mohamed Jalon at the studio from the Ministry of Information and Communication. Today we look at the separation where the ministry they plan for doing a Salcab, and we don't talk on different issues them as to why we reach the decision for say we want for separate Salcab. Let we continue for look at the points and where you earlier been highlights. One panel gets for do with finances. If we look at finances, for example, if we don't talk about performance, now we'll look at the issue we get for do with finances. Salcab not able for raise better money, according to what you've been saying. As so the expectation for reach its threshold way, then suppose for the raise. But how realistic this could be, where people don't come out from the Ministry of Information, people don't come out from Salcab, don't come at the same studio, they both say Salon, now the whole of West Africa, Salon they charge the lowest as to where internet service providers them want to get access to the cable. How na expect Salcab for raise money for reach to that peak? What they expect? Where una self from the ministry don't they boast say we they charge the lowest
on the wholesale price. Okay,
yes.
So like I say, the business what we get, you get 80 bag rest. Now only 15 bag you don't sell. So that means if you sell the remaining 75 or so, you go make more money. So the question they ask now, why you not able to sell that 75 within a store now your hand? That's the question.
So they're not able to answer that question from
so
Salcab.
that's not I think that they the challenge there. And it's all about how you they sell this bag of rice here. If you they sell the bag of rice, now by copy they sell, it will be difficult. So therefore, but this reform not actually there about more of making profit or money. It's about at least raising sufficient revenue for let able pay the loan. For let able pay the loan. You understand, eh? And also the major concern for government now about the connectivity. For let more people they be connected, more areas, more communities they benefit from 4G. And you only able benefit from them till then. If, for instance, you get well over 400 towers now this country where MNOs and they use, most of the towers they're not connected via fiber. And we believe, say, one of the reasons why government be invest in the terrestrial backbone, now for let you connect even the towers there via fiber for improve on the service and make it cheaper for the MNOs. The MNOs and they spend well over about $700,000 for maintaining towers and they. And if you want to reduce cost, then go tell you say, well, we cost of operation is high. So if you connect the towers and they by fiber, that cost they go count down by 50%. And Salcab will make money out of that side they back.
And I seem forget the answers to the problems where they happen at Salcab. So the only solution we wanna think say go make the answers then they come into reality now for separate.
Why we think say that they go solve the problem is that one aspect of the business don't be constantly neglected.
That's on which part?
The terrestrial aspect of the business. I tell you, say this business now too. You get the submarine aspect, when at the undersea, where now in they bring the bulk capacity. Then you get the transmission aspect on the land. Since 2014-15, we done the fiber project, then now less than 1% of that capacity now they use. So the fiber cable just laid on in the idle. And we they look at and say, if we not pay greater attention to this aspect of the business, it will be a white elephant investment. And government don't put more money on the terrestrial than Salcab. Salcab na $25 million investment. The terrestrial, we are now talking about close to $70 million investment with the new project where they can. So therefore, the concern of government are that, look, this aspect where I don't put more money, make I get somebody, let pay attention to the back, let for me well. But when they together, I say always the attention there on the submarine cable, less attention to the terrestrial aspect of the cable.
You make mention of internet price and also connectivity and pointing finger at Salcab, but you get other key players them like the MNOs them. Whose role then they play in this all?
So the various roles that they play, Salcab now they bring the bulk capacity from outside, a Kautan, up to the landing station. The MNOs there now, the mobile network operators, the internet service providers there, then they go buy from Salcab now bulk and put her inside the new transmission system and take her to the customers there. So a customer, for instance, when you top up, you say I don't buy 1 gig from Orange. Now that bulk capacity we don't buy from Salcab, now they retail to you. So one now wholesale, the other one are retail people there. So you also get for understand say. It not only the cost of selling to you not only depend on how much I buy the wholesale, how much I able also spend for transmitter to you, they affect that cost. And that's money when they spend for let that service reach you. Now we want to let it drive down. And the terrestrial backbone get a major role for play for let that cost of transmission come down so that people then will able to enjoy cheaper connectivity.
Cheaper connectivity, but when you even look at the quality, would you the point a finger at because the network system is very challenging when it comes to browsing?
Well, both parties go get role for play because I get me towers there. I still depend on microwave for power me towers there. You get fiber cable lead on. We for not able to agree, the two of we for not able to agree, say, look, you know what, make a connect you tower via fiber so that one, your quality go improve, they go become cheaper for you for transmit. So then business proposition they would expect for let them come up in the new arrangement.
So the new arrangement we on the plan for do already understand say the decision be already a proposed document already in a cabinet for this particular decision. It will go for affect the current administration na Salcab.
Okay. So one of the things where the minister don't constantly put forward, even from where we start for analyze the proposal, now that government not get any intention for let anybody lost in job. So not only say that they can't sack people there, that they can't redundant people there. In fact, the way they look at and say more job will be created.
So
because one business is split into 2 business now.
How it go get for happen when it affects the current administration?
The current management.
The current
well,
management.
like how they say, government talk say they can't sack people there. It say this business now 2, they can't separate her.
So how? Now that's how they ask how it happen.
So you get 2 business together, one person, one group now be the manager. If you split that means you need 2 groups for manager now. So it's possible say this group where they currently go stay over here or na here it go move. That side will not reach the 8. And what we want let people know now that Roma we don't go on say we don't even sell or we don't privatize. The process it be still there under observation. Cabinet be they analyze, people them they look at her, cabinet put in place a subcommittee We actually look at the minister in proposal and say, una go look at this proposal and see whether it makes sense. They make the recommendation to the full cabinet. Full cabinet look at it now and say, okay, this proposal makes sense. Minister, you, the Office of the Attorney General, the Minister of Finance, the Public-Private Partnership Unit, now VP Office, una now sit down together and implement this. So now only now make you find out, say, all these white people when they talk, the ministry not be they say anything because now the proposal will send to cabinet for let them look at it.
We don't try forget people from Salcab for explain how they take this. We're not able to forget anybody yet for explain. So when una come up with this proposal, una get any meeting or discussion with the management at Salcab currently?
So like any reform, you not go sit down in isolation and do any reform. Reform na a holistic approach. So when the ministry come with the idea of say the way they look at it, we need for reform Salcab or the other institutions then, the first thing where the minister do, is call the board. And the ministry now the supervising ministry. But in terms of management responsibility, the board get a major role for play. So the minister called the board to a meeting and propose the idea to them. You know, even go cabinet here to the ministry is now looking at the proposal. So he called and said, look, this is how government want for go. How we go able to work together and achieve this goal. After that, he also now tell the board, say, can you now convey a joint board and management meeting so that the ministry, board and management go able to meet and discuss this? That meeting also was called. The board attended in full and management also sent a representative. So for let somebody talk, say, ministry not be don't consult. No, we consult.
Nobody not say ministry.
Okay, so we consult from the beginning.
The response from the
so we
board
consult
and
from the meeting.
Salcab.
So when we hold the meeting with the board give in unflinching support to the ministry. The board even writes, say, we go work with management for support the reform process where the ministry they put in place. The board meets and make that resolution there and write the ministry, say, Mr. Minister, we are with you in this. In fact, when we send the document to cabinet, that was part of the document we go to cabinet for, say, well, we don't get the board in blessing, say this reform we want for introduce, then go support we, then go work with management and support we. And the ministry actually not the body for interface with, for reach the management. That's how it will be done. So now the board will be the interface with, but still will be called the joint meeting of board and management and ministry together for discuss the proposal. Even the proposal, we make a presentation at the ministry conference room to all the stakeholders there. Okay. We even invite NATCOM for let them come because they get a role at the end of the day for play. We invite PPP unit, Ministry of Finance, everybody will consult for can see the proposal before they send out to cabinet.
Okay, Mohammed Jallo, Acting Communication Director and Minister of Information and Communication, you go come explain about the unbundling process to the people. But we go for a short break. We will come back inside the program. Good morning, Salon.
Better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Like we savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme there. We branch and they all up but not alone. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala Freetown loan sa, we dey. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na salona for me and you. Union Salon Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
Rokel Commercial Bank, don't make a de waka with me bank na me phone. Rokel Commercial Bank, go make you de waka with you bank na you phone. Them been come with SIM Corpo, and now they don't increase the facility. For sure say na them na the Alagba banking business na now they don't come with SIM Corpo Plus. They don't come with SIM Corpo Plus. This service go allow you for send money to person where they salon anytime you want. It no matter the mobile company where you there. As you send them, you go get some quick one. What's nice inside salon you there? The money go reach you. It no matter if you there na the east, west, north, south. So secure then you go na Google Play Store and search for the app. SIM-Copper Plus and say download them. Follow the instructions and register your device. The process no long now even reach 2 minutes. When you done the bank go send message na your phone. For confirm say na your phone number bang bang. Enjoy e-copper and more facilities. SIM-Copper Plus e come for we all. You dey na city or village just na salon you dey. You e-copper go reach you there. Heads at top self now they're under the facility. With e-copper, you can cash out your money from any local commercial bank agent or branch all around the country.
We will continue with the program Good Morning Salon and they look at other issues now. Outside the Vice President Dr. Mohamed Jule Jealousy, government focus right now for make cocoa production. The parts of the sector them we go find more money for the country economy. It talk this inside one meeting with the Produce Monitoring Board. We remember them from the International Cacao Organization. Can work on a salon for see how they go able for help salon for produce more quality cocoa them where they reach international standard. Well, you know Kabia gets more on this. Go report.
Inside 1973, different countries in the world where they produce and eat cocoa become together and form the International Cocoa Organization. Outside them be put together the first international cocoa agreement where this body they for monitor for say country them able for produce quality cocoa we go able for compete na the different international markets them. Salon a member na this organization wey over the past year don dey produce cocoa, but for make salon produce better quality cocoa don be one big challenge wey this make for the first time the International Cocoa Organization can work on a salon. Outside them we go get meeting with the vice president for say dem give technical support to cocoa farmer in the country for produce quality cocoa. Dr. James
which has attracted the ICCO to increase our volume to 50,000 in the next 3 years. We are on that proposal and the ICCO is very supportive of that, and they are here to do a sort of SWOT analysis to see some of our strengths, what are the weaknesses, and also look at the sector in general from the private sector perspective and from other important players. So this is the reason why he is here with us.
Michael Iron, now the executive director for the International Cocoa Organization, talk about the reason why they decide for support salon cocoa production.
So it's important really to support the development of cocoa in Sierra Leone, provided it's high quality and provided there is some kind of marketing and brand so you can sell Sierra Leone abroad. So I came here with two objectives. One is to better understand the situation here and to pass this kind of messages. But also specifically to work with Sierra Leone and PMB on their participation in the Cocoa of Excellence program, where the best cocoa in the world, there are 50 samples out of 500, are selected, and there are awards given in Paris at the Salon du Chocolat every 2 years. So the next edition will be October 21. It's already very urgent to start because the deadline is January 21 to send the samples. And I think we are working with a specialized agency of the FAO called Bioversity. We will try to support Sierra Leone in bringing more samples of better quality to win some awards.
In continue for talk about the problem where country then can get per cocoa where then can reach now the international markets.
We have a basic structural problem in cocoa. It's overproduction, excesses, but overproduction of bulk quality, the commodity. So I fully support the idea, of course, of developing the production in Sierra Leone, provided it's high quality, you see? So, because if you contribute to the excess of bulk, you will not compete with Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, of course, but you can compete with Madagascar, you can compete with other fine flavor or high quality cocoa, which attracts very good prices. The price today of cocoa in London is £1,700, $2,300. 30 years ago it was 10,000. So the prices went down terribly because of the overproduction. And the only way to get back to this level of prices, 8,000-9,000, you need quality.
But waiting at the challenge them, we farmer then they get for produce cocoa. Dr. Edward Ingasani, now the Minister of Trade and Industry, explain.
The major challenge is that those people who do trading in cocoa are only interested buying and go sell to get forex. There has not been any much interest in helping to develop the production itself. That is clearly seen even with the pricing structure, kind of arrangement they have supporting the farmers. How can you be giving a farmer of cocoa a bag of rice and expect him to give you a bag of cocoa in return when the two values don't match? So we want to put an end to that.
Where im dey talk for sake of dis, the Vice President, Dr. Mohammed Jule Jallow, say for the past 20 years now, Salon don dey produce quality cocoa for reach international standard.
In the last 20 years, I don't think there's ever been any focus on quality, because essentially cocoa production was capital flight exercise. That people go and buy it. They are not care about the quality. They just want foreign exchange by other means. Now that we have a new leadership in the SLPMB, and this kind of international connection, I think this is the time to focus on quality and also expand production. This is a sector we can transform. You are coming at the right time to the country when agriculture is a top priority for us.
Dr. Jallow Semweso say, for improve and add value per cocoa production, now that's not the government in focus.
Reorganizing the cocoa trade was one of the focus of the administration. How can we better reorganize that sector? So when we came in, given the priority His Excellency the President places on human capital development, one of the angles is agriculture. And we decided that we are going to focus on agriculture essentially along two axes. One is to increase production so that at least food self-sufficiency. Second is to move the agricultural sector from a social infrastructure to a productive sector, so that this is a sector that is not only there to feed ourselves and become, but it's a sector that the country can make money out of it.
Dr. Mohammed Jule Jallow end up say, government go continue for support the Produce Monitoring Board. For CCA, farmer dey able produce quality cocoa, we go make Salon cocoa able for compete na the world market. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Kabia the reports.
The program na Good Morning Saloon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We will bring you this Wednesday edition of the program Good Morning Saloon. Musa Kamarana Minim.
And Mewel Kaba.
We still get with studio guest Mohammed Jallow. We come up from the Acting Director of Communication and Minister of Information and Communication. They talk about the unbundling they do now the Salon Cable Limited. Mr. Jallow, you don't talk about the reason why we want to do the unbundling. Take me through the process where this unbundling get for take and how it will look like after the unbundling.
Okay, so the proposal we sent to cabinet we go with a roadmap how we go achieve the unbundling. What it basically mean is that we separate the business, the undersea cable business where Salcab they manage now the landing station, they be one business now where somebody else get for manage, then we get a new company who they incorporate for manage the terrestrial backbone aspect of the business. So the whole unbundling is let Salcab manage one aspect of this business when the submarine cable, when purposely they be created for, they will create a new company now. Government the ministry will now work with the Attorney General's office, Ministry of Finance, for put together a new management arrangement for a new company where you can manage the Sierra Leone fiber cable infrastructure. It can be any name where government will agree on. So what that one they mean is that government will now try to go back to the original idea of Salcab managing the undersea cable, and for the undersea cable, waiting government they look at the possibility of introducing some performance management contract. That is, anybody where they can manage this place here, now a management contract will they sign with you. We government will go sign a management contract with you and set certain benchmark where you for achieve. If not achieve, the contract not go hold.
That's for the new one when they plan for setting.
No, the Salcab management.
But Salcab management, you be earlier don't say it not go for affect the job.
So now they tell you now. So this new company now where they are. So the post where they can manage that place, they get for need personnel there for work with them. So therefore, it left with the person now for say, I want this current personnel there for work with me. You get for need engineers.
But that means
let me explain, Mabel. Make people understand. That means the current management person where they come, they go talk say, you know what? I need this management for stay, for continue for work with me. More could drive the purpose. It's okay for the person for do that one day.
But if I come again from government, I've been asked earlier, I've been asked you earlier for a reason.
If I don't explain, people are not going to understand.
They were the same explanation. You be don't explain earlier, say, it not go for affecting job.
No,
Then now you
they
say,
job.
it depend on whether the person will get for grief or work with the current
so
management.
make I explain them. So if the person say, I want the engineers there for work with me, it's well and good they work with them. But if he say, no, me, I they take a different engineers there, what thing they happen? This current crop of people there, then they can manage this other aspect of the business.
But they already they manage them.
No, listen, we they separate the business. I want to let people understand, say, this business now, one are submarine cable, one are terrestrial backbone. Separate things. So you go manage this aspect when are the submarine, the one where they come out go Europe. Now you
so where the one the way they did right now? Where the one the way they did right now?
So currently, as it is, you don't know whether na inside Salcab then go stay or na inside this other new company then they can, because the implementation not don't reach that side yet. Where it reach there, we go know. But one thing where the minister don't emphasize and where the cabinet paper will say now that nobody not get for lost in job. So the current people where they did. So in fact, what do they expect? We expect for bring more people there on board, because you're not going to get the same engineer they work here under. So you got to get people there when they come in.
Who's change this unbundling go bring to the communication system, especially the internet area?
Okay, so this terrestrial backbone was so critical for drive down penetration, where over the years don't be neglected. If you get a company where the manager now, it will focus on her and it will work hard. It will make sure say it do the things the way for do, for connect areas the way for connect, for there you increase the access to internet and drive down cost. So therefore, we are merely saying you pay attention to this aspect of the business, the submarine, and you say pay attention to this other aspect of the business. And we believe, say, if they or two they get attention, they will be able to achieve the objective we don't set we self.
Earlier, when they talk about people or key players them in the whole process, we get like 4 now. We get the Chinese Exim Bank, we get World Bank, we get EcoOne, and also we get Islamic Development Bank.
Yep.
Now when they unbundle, which role then they play in this unbundling, and which side are them position now in as much as them begin invest in this business?
Okay, so now make we get inside the proposal we submit, we get what we call the stakeholder engagement. So they all get for be informed of government in decision. We get for engage them appropriately. We don't list down all the stakeholders there. We don't list down the donors there. We give money for do that investment there. We don't list down the MNOs there, when they benefit from that service there. We don't list down the people of Sierra Leone, when are the ultimate beneficiary of all of this way government they try for do. We don't list down the media, because they get for take the message, and civil society. So there's a whole stakeholder engagement plan for all of this as strategic timings that we'll get for do.
Okay.
Continue for the between at the studio, Mohamed Jallo. We'll come back to you and look at more issues. But now quickly let we go over to the next studio and get short break.
Causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It's like say some kind of magic behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life, and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement now the highest grade cement at the country, when a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall, where you want you concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement, na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
Very many happy reasons.
Silver and gold have I none, so I give you my token gift. They call this one
appreciate. Ooh, yeah. I wish you a happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy returns. Ooh, yeah. I wish you a happy birthday. Ooh, yeah.
All right, indeed, and it's on either Sunday. You know, say somebody is celebrating special day in the house. Well, to really celebrate swamp and the people where they make on the see live na Facebook and YouTube. We na Franklin Pemagbi, they celebrate in special day today on behalf of management and staff. Franklin, we want to wish you all the best as you get a new age added to you hears them. We pray say you'll get more healthy and wealthy years them ahead. On behalf of management and staff, once more, happy birthday to you, Franklin Pemagbi. Of course, at 12, we don't forget family lunch. So now all invited. And I can come over at 12 and celebrate with Franklin. We get breakfast button for the house, and the lunch will be for in and outside fans them of Franklin Pemagbi. Happy birthday once more.
Silver and gold have I none, so I give you my token gift. They call this small, they call this cheap, but I know you will appreciate. Ooh, yeah. I wish you a happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy returns.
Yes, indeed. Happy birthday to Frankly. We dey wait 12 o'clock for the party. We dey wait. The program na Good Morning Saloon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We still get with studio guest Mohammed Jallo from the Ministry of Information and Communication, you know, the Acting Communication Director. They are to talk about the unbundling process na Salcab. Before we look at before we go for that break, we talk about the benefits where this go get. When you look at saloon landscape, though person no go get statistics or we say get network, we say no get. But when you travel out of Freetown, in as much as you pass Waterloo, for instance, you know go find the lost internet unless you meet tower before you able get internet. This all not challenging the communication system where plenty partners alone no get network and plenty people no get access to network. How this unbundling go benefit or go serve that purpose there for ensure say people get connected?
So basically, Naimeka they say when you get two separate institutions that they manage their infrastructure there, then they all will get forget them benchmark them, the service delivery benchmark them. For instance, the fiber, the terrestrial backbone, the post where they manage them, government will now talk say, look, between so time and so time, I want let you make sure say you don't cover this amount of the country in terms of connectivity. We believe say with the reform where the ministry they propose, we go able to see we reaching the target we don't set we self na the ministry in terms of reaching connectivity for the people of Sierra Leone.
Okay, the Transparency and Accountability Committee in Parliament invite una of recent for talk about the Salcab issue. What have been the topic of discussion and what in them engage now?
We not on good it. As far as my knowledge concerned, then be actually for certain documents. The ministry be they put them together. I think this morning they dispatch. Now when they don't receive the document, review and then because you get for know first the issues before you ask questions. So the document then will go this morning to the Parliament. I've been there with the Deputy Secretary yesterday where they talked to the Honorable where they in charge for say the document will be dispatched this morning. The document definitely where they ask for other development issues in the ministry, but specifically they ask for update them on the unbundling. So we don't put that update together as to who side will deal with the process now. The document will go, then after that, then we'll plan for an engagement. We'll go there, we will discuss the issues.
What you want to make up of this if Transparency and Accountability Committee, now the House of Representatives, the call una say, una account documents them?
Well, even if they're not being called, like I said, this kind of process, government, ministry not going to take if you know engage the relevant people there. So we actually don't engage with transparency and accountability. We are the oversight committee on communication. So as part of the bigger engagement, a timeline there for say we get from meet with the oversight committee on communication, information and communication technology, so that we go brief them on the decision of government and how the process they go. But As any committee in a parliament get right for interface with any MDA, they say one for no. So basically, I know they want for no. They want know who side they say the status of the process of the unbundling process. So they want know what they go on and who side we deal with that. And not saying that any red line they see. They just want for no level brief there based on the memo I see from them.
You they think for them now.
When I make a say based on the memo they sent to we, because the memo very clear, it's a give update on the status of the unbundling.
When exactly una plan for do this separation?
The separation. So the cabinet conclusion don't give now ministry mandate for let's start the process. So the process get for involve one, putting out a public tender. So the ministry actually now they work with the committee where government don't set in place, Ministry of Finance, Attorney General, PPP, Salcab, and the ministry for let we put out a public tender for anybody we get company or anybody where you feel say then criteria they will not put together, you go able to meet up for manage Salcab. So that process they start, it will go through NPPA go vet her. In fact, the first step is they send a document to NPPA, let them vet her. When they vet her, they will send her to the public tender, international competition, any company in the world, if you want, you can apply because it's open. When that they happen, we also now go sit down with law officers department, the Attorney General's office, for put together the process of registering a new company where they can manage the local transmission aspect of the business. So then two process and then get for go side by side.
So what's on that timeline?
So like I said yesterday at the press conference, the whole process will look at a 3-month window. But certain activity in a short-term activity, certain activity in a long-term. Like for instance, we get a buffer, a transition. We are in this new management will take over, this new management will take over. You get forget the transition. That make the window self is long. But we get for go through the procurement process and the company registration process for let the process take place.
Salcab itself be don't start some projects them like the school connections and also other one them like the school buses and all one day. So now this unbundling, what thing go happen with them project here so we Salcab go down start? The ministry take cognizance of all what thing they happen. We get a particular activity inside the room and we say do due diligence. That means look at all what thing be they happen and see how you they fit into the new arrangement. So no project not get for so far, no nothing not get for so far, but we go do due diligence for say who side this fit, would that best go able to drive this, would that best go able to continue with this. If now Salcab as in Salcab we able to continue, we go say you take this. Now we go get for do what we call asset verification and separation. So asset separation means even liabilities we get for look at and separate them. So what would they do that one? Now we able to know say school connectivity project and Salcab will continue or the new company will continue. My colleague asked you earlier how involved Salcab they into the whole transition and the whole unbundling.
They're fully involved, like I tell you say, we don't interface with them. In fact, we'll receive the
whose role they play. Okay. In the unbundling.
So when we very big rule and get a very big rule for
what's
play.
The rule?
Okay. So first of all, where we receive the cabinet approval, the first way the minister do now for convey a meeting with the board, for inform them. When we convey the meeting with the board talks say, oh well, this is good. Now the process cabinet don't approve her. Well, we now write we officially now. So that we self go able now use that communication they interface with the management. So the ministry don't do that one, they don't write. Now they wait for hearing from the board and we plan for meet with them. The technical committee we don't put in place, meet with Salcab and also incorporate them into that committee. Therefore, say, let we sit down now and do due diligence for do this separation and incorporate the new company and do the tender process for the takeover of the management of Salcab. So they get a bigger role than the ministry. We not supervise, we supervise. For instance, we don't know about them books there. Now they get for talk to whoever get for talk about the books. Asset separation. Now they get for lead on that one. Now they know which asset belong to who. Because mind you, them business they are then a separate business then. So they get asset that will belong to them. So we get for do their asset separation. Now they get for do that. So they get a big role for play. And even yesterday at the press conference, the minister emphasized say we go continue for engage all the stakeholders there at various levels of this process.
When I've been given a grace window period, because normally if somebody gets an assignment where they do, then they see the work towards the expectation, then can review and ask and say, we they give you this target. If you not hit this time, then we can change the way how things don't they go. When I've been given that period, like we don't talk about all the time I don't find out in the lapses now, the current thing where they happen at Salcab. When I've been allow them like for explain and then able for justify as to waiting they may they're not able for live to the expectation.
Well, first of all, I want to let you know, say the reform where they happen, not to ministry and they drive the reform. Now a whole sector reform. Before. We they provide leadership because the ministry now they provide leadership and the sector.
From the idea
but we they call and meet with them. So in all the engagement we get, I don't ever see any deviation from the idea of reforming the sector. We don't hold a consultative conference where, in fact, the pillar on infrastructure, now the consultative conference, because we create pillars there. We create infrastructure and access, we create e-governance, we create cyber security.
Finally now
they lead on that one.
Then lead all that day.
So
fine, but before now they reach here finally.
Yeah.
Una been given time, like say we give una time for able for look into all them concerns here where una don't see.
I don't think say that the approach. I don't think say that the approach and the way the reform be take, because the reform is not about the management contract, or the reform is not about the position. It's about the sector reform. Not give you the mandate. Now that cabinet don't give you the mandate, I mean, first of all, we inform the people that categorically say government don't get any intention for sell Salcab, but that with the reform Salcab for able meet the desired goal the government set for establishing.
Right. Continue for the week. Mohammed Jallo, the acting communications director, the Minister of Information and Communication, they explain about the unbundling process they do na Salcab. The program na Good Morning Salon, where they can see from 98.1 FM. We continue for look at more issues inside the program. We mean say the chiefdom them been divided. Forget new paramount chiefdom. From that time day to now, the chiefdom them way them been divided, no get paramount chiefdom made. For sake of that, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Tambalamina, say now 55 chiefdom them then at the country we still no get paramount chief. He talk more to Mange Mansare inside this interview.
Well, we don't go far. I've been on talk about the issue here a few times to fumble them. At this particular point, we don't get a new chairman for NEC. We got a meeting about 4 weeks ago to try to discuss modalities, how we for start for conduct the elections here. Currently, we got about 55 official positions of paramount chief in the country. Most of them are as a result of where they split some chiefdom them and make them individual chiefdoms on their own. So we don't go far. Even the technical team, then they meet in Freetown, at the headquarters, for try for farm of them modalities then they, so that we will try for start. What I need for safe to farm with there is that what they do on this time, we do them in packages.
We don't see where them paramount chief elections can come. We can see basically small issues that can be about list, whether they for vote, the eligibility. So waiting you to put in place as a minister for make sure that they not repeat itself again.
Technical team don't meet. They meet following the meeting with the chairman of NEC and the NEC people the last time. They don't draw up some guidelines for how to conduct the elections there. Most of the challenges around NTR they arise around TA list, that is the tribal authority list. Every 20 people, the current system, they produce one person where they vote for a paramount chief. That is every 20 taxpayers now that particular chiefdom. So sometimes what they happen, people then overblock the tax book by buying too many tax books for letting them give themselves advantage. We want to address that issue there. Some of them chiefdom then they will go for try for redo the assessment on the inside the day, because we look and pay not correct. I don't talk over and over say not correct. It not make sense. For all get them kind of number of TA people. Now that they make, we will get paramount chief them where it be for say then people them not to they actually elect them, and because of the other means where they want for let somebody get advantage. So we try for address them thing. We will make sure say work very closely with NEC, try for deal with them challenges them day where they come up inside the system.
This one way they cancel, we not go see that kind of thing they way it not they happen before. We not go see them again repeat itself with the guidelines, with the mechanisms that were in place.
Well, we try for strengthening them. Again, we all are human beings then, and a competition. We get various chieftain families and households the way they contest against themselves. And sometimes people the way they lose and they take loss very badly. Chieftains in one of the team and where you don't elect a paramount chief now for life. After 2 years, you go for say after 5 years, we go for go back again, we will give other person additional chance. So that they create them challenges in there and they make people them entrench themselves more for fair. But we will also work with the Attorney General Office, Ministry of Justice. For let us see some of them petition and the way they come, for let us try for fast track them so that that at least justice will be done via the processes that were available to them people.
So how soon we will see the elections there happen?
Pretty sure say we will start, latest we will start by October.
You mean they talk about so what are the processes in this time we see now by segments, how then they go about them?
The segmentation are mainly because we'll get processes that we'll go through. One, we address the issue of task assessment and the people that will actually qualify for vote. Then from there, we'll go to the declaration. And then after that, 2 weeks after that, always after our declaration, 2 weeks, they allow for petition and all that kind of thing. Then people then vote. With the two interactions, we will take one segment and try for doing why should they clean up the other segment. So the one that we will feel we satisfy with, and then first we will make let them go.
Out of them 55 there, which district get the highest chiefdoms way when I go for make elections?
Well, we'll not say Falaba one of the areas. Also Tonkolili, Karine. Most of the areas then are not really then they where they do then their amalgamation then they. The south and the southeast they're not the the chiefdom then they. So I feel say in the spirit of fairness, we'll go for look at them there as well.
Well, that na interview we Mangi Mansari do with the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development and Balamina Wusai confirm say na 55 chiefdom them dey na the country we still not get permanent chiefdom yet after the amalgamation process. The program na Good Morning Saloon we come to you from 98.1 FM. Una don dey send una text message them on the number 0779819881 and also on Facebook. Mabel.
The very first order look at the Facebook page. Roland Karimu, they say, if Salcab is a privatized entity, why still maintain government meddling? I'm talking of staff retention suggests there are lapses and low performance expectation from the current Salcab staff and no intention of retaining them.
This one from Molai Turena with Facebook, they say the issue started months back, but there has been some bone of contention between the minister and the MD to privatize Salcab. They just want to fine-tune the issue. There is a serious infight between the minister and the MD at Salcab.
All right. This other message we look at Mr. Jallo. My understanding is that the two components are two sides of the same coin. Separation by the onboarding will not cause a lot of power struggle. Na question where they ask, what value addition will Sierra Leoneans enjoy? Momodu Nagodri send a message.
This one, they say, what has the ministry done for Saratel?
All right, to look at other message, Mr. Jallo, when Salcab is unbundled, thereby creating two managements, will the two managements have the same conditions of service? Alhaji MF Turina send a message there.
This one say Saloon charging the lowest on internet services. That is not true. I know our internet is very expensive compared to other African countries.
All right, Lamin Costo Daramina Facebook, reforming Salcab with just 2 years is untimely and premature.
This one say, why was Salcab formed? Was it not formed as non-profit organization? By the look of things, it seems like the mission has taken a U-turn.
This other one says, sir, this unbundling now for the whole entire country or now for certain areas them for benefit. It come out from German cats.
This one say, with 2 years, Salcab under the current MD has done a tremendous job and must be commended for it. And Alamin Costo Darami on Facebook.
All right, the final one when we go look at because of time, the person they say 90.1, please ask me, the representative why not incorporate Seratel on the Salcab side, as Seratel has the largest telecommunications infrastructure in the country. Instead of Seratel is left to cripple, allowing private telecommunications to outstand them. Tell on and send a message here.
Well, from the text messenger, we can't with studio guests because of time, make a respond to the one then don't come inside.
Thank you very much to listeners then. I will try for respond to some of the issues there. But the issue of job loss or other things, they keep coming up. I think the ministry don't make that categorically clear that nobody not get for loss in job in the reform. Now reform with the reform and the approach in which they do the management. Not only like they can redundant people there and things like that. Nobody not get for loss in job. And me not aware of any infighting between the MD and the minister. I not notice that one day. I not see that one day because we don't get cordial relationship. In fact, the ministry, now one of the ministry, really get a very cordial relationship with the parastatals the way they underway. The minister has an open door person. In fact, in the ministry, we literally they get lunch together. Even when they get with sector meetings, the way they all they come, we get with lunch room, they get lunch together. So I don't ever notice any infighting because I see with the enter and come on, they laugh together. And I believe say we go work together with them in this reform. What they do. So when we talk about what do they do for Seratel, Seratel also they undergo in your own reform. But one thing I want to let people they know, Seratel no 100% they under the ministry. The ministry can provide leadership, but Seratel be don't be listed under the NCP for privatization, and that process they go on. In fact, they don't open a tender process for that. Tenders have been received. They don't open the tender and they evaluate it now for like a private person can invest into Seratel. Condition of service will not reach that side yet. We just start the process. The process will unveil itself. Why we not go incorporate Seratel for this fiber? Seratel is a last mile service provider, not a wholesale service provider. So you're not able to do the role one that company for play. We're not able to incorporate her. I think now the things that down the way they come up in the question. But like I say, I still want to emphasize the reform not to for let people that lost their job. The reform now for let we change we approach as to how we manage the entity.
So changing this approach now, also it don't work best way una think say for implementing a salon it go work best as well.
Okay, first of all, now the sub-region. I always like for limit me say now the sub-region. In terms of landing station, now only salon get government management in the landing station. In all the other countries, then a private partnership 90 day.
So that means the government's not capable.
Well, it's not about capability. The issue with management is that when you, for instance, sign a contract with Mabel, say, Mabel, tomorrow, if you not come and take by 8 o'clock, you go lost your job. Mabel will treat them serious. But most often in parastatal management from government appointees, sometimes they see them lapses and they because you know say you get a job. But the private sector, na contract you get. So in Ghana, for instance, 8 cables, all na private people and the manager will not see, in fact, they see the thing they advance. So we think, say, the World Bank rationale will be tell we say, look, that landing station, they will approach her from a PPP point. We think, say, it makes sense because we don't see Gambia, where they get the same law, where they adhere to that one, the Liberia, where they adhere to that one, the waiting happen, if they go on and World Bank don't even convert the loan to grant because they adhere to that. Because we not be adhere to that principle, we loan still a loan we get for pay for them.
So now you confirm say after the unbundling na privatization you get for go straight.
I don't say privatization. I say na contract management. You know they privatize. There's a difference between privatization and where you approach management from a PPP point of view, a kind of contractual point of view for say, look, I want to let you manage this place for me, but now ABC you for do. If you not do it, the contract will terminate. That way they employ somebody say, go sit down and you not MD. There are two different things.
So now that loan government's afraid for pay we make on for separate.
Not afraid, The target
because
was,
you keep making mention of say we're not able to raise enough money for pay back the loan.
Not the emphasis is not on the loan. The emphasis is on waiting to be the objective for increased penetration and reduced cost. I think government more concerned about penetration rate and reducing the cost than the loan because the whole target was many people then get access to the service. If they know they get access to it, I think government will be more concerned than paying the loan.
So the question again of why now other one way people need answers to, because if you look, we get other institutions and we need similar reforms, but we not see them reform and they don't happen yet. Salpost, for example, and Seratel don't make a brief mention of why now Salcab.
Well, as far I will only talk about Uyo Ministry. Uyo Ministry they undergo reform. Every side they undergo reform. Recently, IMC don't get a new mandate. If they go through in reform now, then every day they meet with them for CC, then they know the new mandate they don't give them. Slena, if you go Slena today, now a very complete new entity. So we own ministry, where me know about the one of the things where the minister do after they declare this year as a year of delivery. Now for talk say this year for reform, so that when we reform by next year, service uptake will be increased. So we own ministry Everybody they undergo reform. Tomorrow we dey go for validate not come the own reform document for law and cabinet.
On which basis would they do the reform here and would they benefit at the end of the day from the reforms then?
We believe say the people of Australia they will benefit from the reform there. Yes,
right.
Based on the policy document. And we know they do the reform by guess. I don't tell you say their policy document. You get the national development plan. Then we also don't develop what we call the national digital transformation policy and the national digital transformation strategy. Then documents they are now then they definitely guide the reform process. So not just until the ministry wake up one morning and say, "Let's reform." We get a document where the guide we.
All right, as quickly as to the wrap up the program, let you just respond to this. The person they say what the ministry wants to do is to sell the money-making arm of Salcab to a private person that is the submarine cable and leave the unprofitable arm, which is the fiber backbone, to Salcab, and that will kill them because they will not be able to make any money to even pay salaries.
Okay, so actually the person don't understand the business. The terrestrial backbone get more potential for make money than the submarine. I don't make this emphatically clear. Because we know say this other aspect now they drive connectivity. If you really run it properly, you likely for make more money than this. But you don't neglect her. Now make it if say not profitable, but it's more profitable than the submarine cable. The submarine cable now just capacity they come with. But you
if that way they come with the capacity managed by other person, then that way they receive the capacity from and they manage. How I go get capacity if I not buy from the post with the capacity?
You way they manage the submarine, the terrestrial backbone, you don't need capacity. You know to service they provide. You know transmission, now trunk road you they provide. So if you always make sure say the road they up and down, up and running.
They not get any relationship. The two not get relationship for
They
work.
not,
for
they
them
not
operate.
The relationship where they get now the MNOs there. The MNOs then when they take the capacity from the submarine, they need a clean road for transmitter. So that transmission then they can provide.
So now the
them.
MNOs go they take from the marine cables.
Submarine cables.
Submarine cables
yeah.
rather than the terrestrial.
They need the terrestrial now for transmitter to them people there.
All right, many thanks for you joining at the program this morning, Mohammed Jallo, Acting Director of Communication at the Ministry of Information and Communication. Now, this edition of the program, Good Morning Salon Golefona, plenty thank you to the production team. Alex Lawrence Komai, Michael Sambola produced the program. DJ Ahmad give it technical support. Moses Kavura and Franklin Pemagwe, they celebrating birthday. Make una see live on Facebook and YouTube. Una can join me at 12 as we go get family lunch at 12 from Franklin. Get yourself a wonderful day. Mabel Kabade say goodbye.
And Musa Kamara, they say goodbye. Don't forget for listening to We Midday Show and also Salon News at 9 this morning.
All right, I'm Lim Stitching. All that to get inside with Good Morning Salon program. One more time, I just wish the best